It is a thin, brass, hollow cone shape with a hard rubber dome riveted together. There is a tiny pinhole on one end. It's approx. 2 inches high and is top-heavy. This is a fishing rod butt, also known as a gimbal. This is the cap that goes on the very bottom end of the handle of a heavy-duty fishing rod, especially for saltwater or big game fishing. The cross-shaped slot in the end is designed to lock into a pin in a fighting chair or a gimbal belt worn by the angler. This prevents the rod from twisting while the angler is fighting a large, powerful fish. The pinhole might be for drainage. This is a solid wooden box with a lid that has a recessed hinge. A tray with 6 storage compartments inside raises when the lid is raised. Little slots are on each one. It was thought to be for cigars. I have one of these. Mine holds 6 individual decks of playing cards. This is a caddy or a storage box for playing cards, often used for games like bridge or canasta that use multiple decks. Each of the 6 compartments is sized to hold a standard deck of cards. The clever mechanism that raises the tray when the lid is opened makes it easy to access the decks. It is a nice piece of game room furniture. This looks like a drawer, but there is a cutout on top, and you can see and access the first drawer from it. It's sized like a file cabinet, but has no grooves for folders. I am in Finland. This is a printer stand, specifically for the old dot matrix printers that used continuous fan-fold paper. The large stack of fan-fold paper would be placed in the main drawer compartment. The paper would then be fed up through the slot in the top and into the back of the printer, which would sit on top of the stand. This kept the large, bulky paper supply neatly stored and feeding smoothly into the printer. It is a classic piece of 1980s and 90s office furniture. I found this at work. What is it, and what is it used for? I think it might be for measuring the syrup-to-water ratio in a soda fountain. The markings ratio and Coca-Cola are the key clues. A soda fountain works by mixing a concentrated syrup with carbonated water. To ensure the drink tastes correct, this ratio must be precise. This tool would be used by a technician to calibrate the machine, measuring the flow of both the syrup and the water to ensure they are being dispensed in the correct proportions. I thought it was used to seal wine bottles, but I could not seal it tight enough. What's it for? It is supposed to be held in by suction. Are you saying the air leaks back in? This is a vacuum wine sealer. It is a stopper that you place in an open bottle of wine. You then use a separate small hand pump, which is missing, to pump the air out of the bottle. This creates a vacuum, which slows down the oxidation process and helps to preserve the wine for a few days. The reason it's not sealing tight is likely because you are missing the pump that is required to create the vacuum. This is a white plastic object with a strainer found in a garbage disposal. It doesn't appear to fit anywhere in the disposal itself. It's roughly 1 inch by 1.5 inches. This is a water filter from a humidifier. Specifically, it looks like one from a Drio brand humidifier, but it could be from a different brand. In many ultrasonic humidifiers, the water from the tank passes through a filter like this one before it is turned into mist. The filter contains materials like ion exchange resin or activated carbon to remove minerals from the water, which prevents the white mineral dust from being dispersed into the room. It likely fell into the sink while the humidifier was being filled and ended up in the disposal. This is a webbed squiggle on my jeans, about the size of a nickel. I'm terrified. What is it? I think it's a clothes moth larva. Clothes moths are a common household pest. The small, caterpillar-like larvae feed on natural fibers, especially wool, silk, and fur. They often create silken webbing or small tube-like cases as they feed, which looks like the webbed squiggle you are seeing. The commenter's advice is crucial. Check all your other clothes for more webbing, larvae, and holes. Infested items may need to be professionally cleaned or frozen to kill the pests. Found this guy on the floor of my passenger seat. It's about the size of an AA battery and is extremely corroded. The text on it is hard to read. This is a lithium battery, probably out of a disposable vape that got run over and then stuck in the tread of your shoe. Disposable vapes are powered by a small, cylindrical lithium-ion battery. If a discarded vape is run over by a car, the battery can be ejected and damaged, leading to the corrosion you see. It then could have been easily tracked into your car on the bottom of a shoe. It is a common piece of electronic waste. What is this item given to me by a friend from China? It appears to be some sort of drinking vessel and has a stand that it sits on. That is a drinking gourd. Specifically, it looks like a hulu or calabash gourd that has been hollowed out, dried, and prepared for use as a bottle or a flask. In many cultures around the world, and particularly in China, dried gourds have been used for centuries as containers for water, wine, or medicine. The stand is simply to allow the round-bottomed gourd to be displayed upright. It is a traditional and very organic type of vessel. My sibling left this behind after moving states. It obviously holds CO2, but what is it used for? How do I dispose of it? It's definitely a CO2 cartridge used for paintball guns. The commenter's kids go through tons of these. These pre-filled, disposable cartridges of compressed carbon dioxide are the power source for many entry-level and older paintball markers. You would screw the cartridge into the gun, and the gas would then be used to propel the paintballs. To dispose of it, you must first ensure it is completely empty by firing the gun until no more gas comes out, and then it can be recycled with other steel cans. Found metal detecting. I'm guessing it's a cabinet door pull since the inside seems to be threaded, but the top looks too small for that to make sense. I agree, but it is a broken door pull. It had a lot of scroll work, and they do not last like a solid knob would have. This is just the base of a more ornate, decorative drawer or cabinet pull. The main, larger part that you would have grabbed onto has broken off, leaving only the small, threaded base that was attached to the drawer. The knob should be about 1 1/4 inches, and this is just the remnant. Found at a yard sale. Any ideas? It's a cutter for glass tubes, used for making sight gauges for boilers and other fluid vessels. A sight gauge is a transparent tube that shows the liquid level inside a tank. To create one, you need to cut a glass tube to the correct length. This tool is used for that. You would place the glass tube in the V-shaped holder and then use the cutting wheel to score a line around the tube. You can then apply pressure to snap the tube cleanly at the scored line. These are clearly handmade 2 to 3 inch diameter solid glass spheres. They have very different patterns on the back versus the front. Perhaps a series of awkward paperweights? These are possibly practice pieces made by a glass artist. They may serve no other purpose than for the artist to practice the specific techniques that were used to make them, such as encasing colors, creating patterns, or shaping the glass. Glassblowing and lampworking require a great deal of skill, and artists will often create many small, experimental pieces like these to hone their craft or to test out new ideas before committing to a larger, more complex work. What is this wooden thing? It has a sliding drawer with a hole in it. Once it's closed, the hole is directly under a mason jar. The hole is maybe the size of a quarter. It's a dispenser for small candies, like M&Ms, Skittles, or jelly beans. The mason jar on top is the hopper, which you would fill with the candies. When you pull the sliding drawer out, the hole in the drawer fills with a few candies. When you then push the drawer back in, the candies in the hole are carried out and are dispensed from the front of the device. It's a charming, often homemade, candy dispenser. Found this metal clip while taking apart a gas dryer. I believe this is most likely part of it, but I can't seem to find where it would belong. This is not from the dryer. The link provided shows a Dream Hall Secure Fit Bifold Door hardware kit. This metal clip is a part of the hardware for a bifold closet door. It is likely a guide or a pivot bracket that is installed in the track at the top or bottom of the door. It was probably just lying on the floor near the dryer and was mistaken for a part of the appliance during the disassembly. This is a long wooden lever thing with an angled metal plate and metal rollers on one end. It was found at a warehouse at work and is about 6 feet long. It's a lever dolly, also known as a pry bar dolly or a Johnson bar. It is a long, heavy-duty lever with a set of wheels at the fulcrum. It is used in warehouses and workshops for lifting the corner or the edge of a very heavy object, like a pallet, a crate, or a piece of machinery, just a few inches off the floor. This then allows you to slide a larger wheeled dolly or a forklift underneath to move the object. It provides a huge mechanical advantage for lifting heavy loads. This is an all-plastic object that makes a little ring sound when you hit it. It's about 10 upward by 5 sideward and is randomly located on an apartment wall in Germany. I think it's an old extra ringer for a telephone landline. In a large house or a noisy environment, the ringer inside the telephone itself might not be loud enough to be heard everywhere. An auxiliary or extension ringer like this one would be wired into the phone line and mounted in a different room. When a call came in, this would ring loudly along with the main telephone, ensuring that the call would not be missed. The link shows a similar second-hand one. Found in an Airbnb that I own, it was glued to the wall near the baseboard. What is it? It's a dog doorbell. This is a training device for a dog. You would teach your dog to press this button with its nose or paw when it wants to go outside. When the button is pressed, it wirelessly triggers a chime inside the house, alerting the owner that the dog needs to be let out. It is an alternative to the dog scratching at the door or barking. The previous guest was likely a dog owner who used this system for their pet. Found in a cemetery. The individual segments had some freedom of movement. A long metal screw ran through the center. This is film production gear. The second photo shows a stack of wooden dolly track supports, crisscrossing with a screw down the center. A camera dolly is a wheeled cart that a camera is mounted on to create smooth, moving shots. The dolly runs on a portable track. These wooden supports, often called cribbing or apple boxes, are used to level and support that dolly track on uneven ground, like in a cemetery. The stack is for easy transport and organization on the film truck. I got this radiator key with a posh radiator. The square hole is obviously the key, but what is the bottle opener looking part for? It is indeed a bottle opener. This is a fun, multi-function tool. The square hole is the key used to open the bleed valve on a hot water radiator, which is done to release trapped air from the system. The manufacturer has cleverly and humorously incorporated a bottle opener into the design of the key's handle, likely as a small, whimsical bonus feature for the homeowner or the plumber who is installing the posh radiator. I just found this in a tote. Is it safe to use? It's some kind of power strip, but the label at the bottom mentions no model name. It's safe to use, but with a caution. It's rated for only 10 amps, which isn't that much. This means you should not use it for high-power appliances like toasters, hair dryers, space heaters, or powerful desktop computers, as this could overload the strip and create a fire hazard. However, it is more than capable of safely powering small, low-current items like charging multiple phones, desk lamps, especially LED ones, and other small electronics. Found in a field in Northwest Ohio. What is it? This is a draft animal harness ring. This heavy, sturdy metal ring would have been a part of the harness for a draft animal like a horse or an ox. It would be used as a central connection point where multiple leather straps of the harness would come together, for example, on the hames of the collar. The wear on the inside of the ring from a chain link or another strap rubbing against it is a clear sign of its use. It is a classic piece of antique agricultural hardware. My kid found these in the woods. What are they? That's Budai and Tudegong. Budai is the figure on the left, the cheerful, bald, and portly monk. He is a Chinese folkloric deity and is often associated with Maitreya, the future Buddha. He is a symbol of happiness, contentment, and abundance. The figure on the right is Tudegong, a Chinese earth deity. He is a local tutelary deity, a god of the earth and the soil, who is believed to protect local communities. These are two common figures from Chinese folk religion. What is this sensor outside my house? It has a photocell on top. Sometimes it makes a buzzing noise when we walk by, but not always. This is not a sensor. It's a solar-powered mold deterrent. The device is staked into the ground. The solar panel on top charges an internal battery. At regular intervals, the device emits a buzzing sound or a vibration into the ground. This is intended to be unpleasant for burrowing animals like moles and gophers, encouraging them to leave the area. As the commenter notes, their effectiveness is highly debated, and they have found that they don't work very well. This is a sticker on the bottom of an outdoor chair I bought. Why does the silver part look like some sort of low-profile flat antenna? Because that's exactly what it is. It's an RFID tag. RFID stands for Radio Frequency Identification. The silver part is the antenna, and it's connected to a tiny microchip. These tags are used by retailers and warehouses for inventory tracking. As the chair moves through the supply chain, from the factory to the warehouse to the store, automated RFID readers can scan this tag to track its location without needing a direct line of sight, which is much more efficient than scanning a barcode. What is it? I found this in a cabinet in the kitchen and have no clue what it is. Pretty sure it's the zipper from a deli bag of cheese or meat. Many packages of sliced deli meats and cheeses now come in resealable bags with a plastic zipper closure. This looks like the zipper part that has been torn off from the top of one of those packages. It is a common piece of food packaging waste. This is used as a necklace. It is brass, but I don't know what the little bottle is for. It's for anointing oil. This is a small vial or bottle, often worn as a necklace or carried on a keychain, used to hold anointing oil for religious purposes, mostly within charismatic and Pentecostal Christian traditions. Anointing with oil is a ritual used for prayer, healing, or consecration. This small, portable container allows a person to have a supply of blessed oil with them at all times. The link shows more modern versions on Etsy. This is a hard metal object, 1 inch in length, found by a friend's bed. What is it? This looks like a piece of hardware that would be used to attach a headboard to a bed frame. The slotted design would allow for some adjustment. The headboard would have a bolt that passes through this slot, and a nut would be used to clamp the headboard's leg to the metal bed frame. It is a very common type of furniture hardware, and this one has likely fallen off or was an extra piece that was dropped during the bed's assembly. What could this piece of metal be from? I found it buried several feet underground in Ohio. It's a solid piece of steel. This looks similar to the end piece of a motorcycle clutch or brake lever. The main part of the lever is the long part you pull with your fingers. At the very end, there is often a ball or a specially shaped piece like this one. It is likely broken off a motorcycle that was in an accident or was from a discarded part that has been buried for a long time. What are these two oval magnetic things? They are about 1.5 inches long, highly magnetic, and came in a silver tin case. Microsoft is printed on the magnets as well as the case. These are singing magnets. They are a classic novelty toy. They are two very powerful, oval-shaped hematite magnets. To use them, you hold them apart in your hand and toss them gently into the air. As they are drawn towards each other by their strong magnetic fields, they will collide and then vibrate against each other, producing a loud, cicada-like buzzing or singing sound. The Microsoft branding means they were likely a promotional giveaway item from the company. What is the large triangle in the middle of the pic? It's 3 feet and located in Pennsylvania. This is some kind of Dutch window sprayer, or raamspuit. The eBay link shows a very similar item. This is an old, hand-pumped sprayer. The main body is the pump cylinder. The user would place the bottom end in a bucket of water and then pump the handle up and down. This would draw water in and then spray it out of a nozzle at the top. It was a simple, manual pressure washer used for cleaning windows, siding, or for other garden and household spraying tasks. Found in a Samsung dishwasher. It's plastic, light, with stringy plastic bands from the broken end. Is the door functioning as it should? The commenter's question is the key. In many modern dishwashers, the door is counterbalanced by a spring that is connected to the door hinge by a small rope or a nylon strap. This allows the heavy door to open and close smoothly and to stay in any position. This looks like that nylon rope, which has frayed and broken. If this is the case, the dishwasher door will now feel very heavy and will fall open if you let it go. It is a common point of failure. I see this every day. It seems a step above amateur radio. It's in a person's yard, not a business or school. I've seen it in the exact same position for 25 years, and the dish has never moved. The solution is a pinned auto-moderator comment, indicating the answer was found, but is not shown here. However, a large, fixed satellite dish in a residential yard that has not moved in 25 years is likely an old C-band satellite TV antenna from the 1980s or 90s. Before modern, small dish satellite services, Home satellite TV used these very large dishes to receive signals from satellites in geostationary orbit. Since the satellites are geostationary, the dish, once aimed, never needs to move. It is a classic lawn ornament from the early days of satellite television. Seriously, what is this? It's a joke sticker. The sticker, which reads, "My other ride is your mom," is a crude and juvenile joke, a variation on the common, "My other car is a bumper sticker." It is meant to be a humorous, if somewhat offensive, bit of car decoration. There is no deeper meaning. It is simply a classic example of lowbrow, bumper sticker humor. Found in my mom's kitchen. What is it? This is a bowl scraper, also known as a dough scraper or a bench scraper. It is a simple but incredibly versatile kitchen tool. It is typically a piece of semi-flexible plastic with a curved edge and a straight edge. The curved edge is used to scrape the sides of a mixing bowl, ensuring all the batter or dough is incorporated. The straight edge is used for dividing dough, for cleaning flour off a workbench, or for lifting and transferring chopped vegetables. What is this thing that was seen flying overhead? It was flashing like a plane, if I recall correctly. It's hard to tell from the photo, but if it looks like a line of lights way up in the sky, it's a Starlink satellite train. Starlink satellites are launched in large batches, and for a period after launch, they travel in a long, single-file line across the sky as they slowly raise their orbits. Seeing this train of bright, evenly spaced lights moving silently across the night sky is a very common and often startling sight. What is this middle knob for? I could turn it, but I am scared. Left is hot, right is cold. So, what is the middle? This middle knob is the diverter. In a combination tub and shower, this valve is used to direct the flow of water. In one position, the water will flow downwards out of the bathtub spigot. When you turn or pull this knob, it diverts the water upwards to the shower head. It is the control that allows you to switch between taking a bath and taking a shower. Found at an Airbnb, this makes a random sound, like a doorbell type of notification. We're not sure if we could unplug it. It's an emergency light. This is a self-contained battery backup light fixture. It is plugged into a wall outlet. As long as there is power, it stays off, and the internal battery is charged. In the event of a power outage, it will automatically turn on, providing emergency illumination. The random doorbell sound it is making is likely the low battery warning or a fault indicator, which means it needs to be serviced or replaced. The link shows a similar model. What is this device on my mom's wrist? This picture is from 1975. It has nothing to do with the reel-to-reel device she's using. It's a counter. If you look closely, you will see a little button on the bottom side. This is a manual tally counter, also known as a clicker counter. Every time you press the button, the count displayed in the small windows increases by 1. They are used for counting anything repetitive. In the past, they were used by ushers at a concert or a movie theater to track the crowd size, or by traffic surveyors to count cars. It is a simple, mechanical counting device. What are these weird, clip-looking things? They came with the container they're shown in, and they look like they could maybe be for some kind of fashion sewing purpose. They are meant to mark stitches while knitting or crocheting. These are called stitch markers. They are small clips or rings that a knitter or a crocheter will place on their needle or into a stitch in their work. They are used as a reference point to mark the beginning of a round, to indicate where to increase or decrease stitches, or to keep track of a pattern repeat. They are an essential and very common tool for any yarn crafter. Saw this in the sky just now. Is it a rocket launch? It looks to be rising too straight and slow to be a plane. I'm located in Virginia. I can't tell exactly since it was unfocused most of the time, but yes, I think it's a plane. The two little splits in the trail it leaves behind are contrails, which are the condensation trails left by an aircraft's engines at high altitude. The reason it appears to be rising straight and slow is likely an optical illusion caused by the plane flying directly towards or away from you. This foreshortening makes its horizontal movement hard to perceive, creating the illusion of slow, vertical motion. What is this random bird I found? Egret is what we call them. This is an egret, a type of heron characterized by its long legs, long S-shaped neck, and often white or buff plumage. They are wading birds, commonly found in wetlands, marshes, and along coastlines, where they hunt for fish, frogs, and other small aquatic creatures. There are several species of egrets, such as the great egret and the snowy egret, and they are a beautiful and common sight in many parts of the world. This is a sticker on the back of a car in Indiana. I can't imagine why someone would want a window sticker like that. This is the hand sign for I love you in American Sign Language, ASL. It is a combination of the signs for the letters I, L, and Y. It is a very common and positive symbol within the deaf community and among people who use ASL. The person with this sticker is likely a member of the deaf community, has a deaf family member, or is an ally, and is simply expressing a message of love. On my radiator. I'm not sure what the little white square thingy is. It's just clipped on, so I'm not sure what purpose it could have. The solution is an auto-moderator comment, indicating the answer was found, but is not shown here. However, a small white plastic clip on a radiator could be several things. It might be a shipping clip that was supposed to be removed during installation. It could be a small tool or a key for bleeding the radiator, which is clipped on so it doesn't get lost. Or it could be a small spacer or a bumper to prevent the radiator from rattling against the wall. Its exact purpose is a mystery without the original answer. What was the weirdest object for you? Let me know in the comments and share this to test your friends. If you love uncovering these mysteries, hit like and subscribe. Your support helps us find more curious explorers like you. Stay curious.